100, at least 100.
At least 100.
100, right. Up to 300, but 100 is the minimum. Yeah, for optimal brain health.
And the liquid you can take without the meals also?
Yes, liquid can be taken without food or with food, either way. So that's another advantage. And you can just mix it in water and just sip it throughout the day. Yes.
So if you don't recommend aluminum pots, what kind of pots are recommended?
Okay, I was waiting for somebody to ask me that question. Stainless steel. Okay, that's the healthiest for stovetop cooking. And if you're doing anything in the oven, ideally Pyrex you know, glass is the healthiest. Anytime you can go for glass, like even drinking your tea, drinking your coffee in a glass mug is a lot healthier than doing the other types of mugs, like the porcelain mugs. So glass is one of the healthiest, really, materials to go with.
I want to talk about how healthy to cook food or warm up in the microwave oven.
Cooking the food either
or warming up.
Or warming up. Very good question. What about microwaving? Okay, because that's the common 21st century form of cooking here. Microwaving, actually the studies have been mixed. Some studies have shown that you actually lose more when you cook in the microwave. Other studies have shown you lose less. The more concerning factor is the fact that when we microwave food, it changes the whole chemical structure of the food. Yes. And it's in a form that our bodies don't recognize. So if you are somebody that wants something quickly warmed up, it's much healthier to do it actually in a toaster oven. And Walmart sells the toaster ovens. I mean, a lot of the supermarkets, you can get them for $20 and they are really pretty good quality and they last for a long time. But a toaster oven to warm up is a lot healthier than using the microwave. And it's more the fact that you're changing the whole chemistry of the food, and that's the concern. Okay, yes? Yes, in fact it is, actually. Coenzyme Q10 is a very good thing to help with autoimmune conditions. Because it has a balancing effect on the immune system, like it doesn't overstimulate the immune system, it just keeps the balance. And because it's a very effective antioxidant, it really helps blood flow. And with a lot of autoimmune conditions, there's a problem with blood flow through the body in terms of getting more nutrients coming. So that's one of the reasons why I do recommend the Coenzyme Q10. Good, yes?
Since supplements are not regulated by the federal government, and there's a fair amount of heavy metal contamination, even worse, is there any particular brand that you know that is better than any other?
That's a really, really good question because that's a very important concern. There are specific company brands. Actually, a lot of the pharmaceutical brands that are backed by pharmaceutical companies, for instance, Metagenics is one company that is backed by pharmaceutical companies. So they actually have the funding to do proper quality control on their supplements. That would be a very reputable company. They do check for heavy metals in everything that they manufacture. One of my favorites is actually made out in Texas by a company called Premier Research Labs, because their standards are even higher than the FDA standards. And they'll do whatever it takes to make sure that the product is free of contamination, but also free from heavy metals. And they have returned products back to China, back to Germany, because of the fact that there's been this type of contamination.
Because most are manufactured in China and there are no FDA regulations.
Exactly, right. But one thing you can also look for when you're purchasing a product is that it has the GMP certification, good manufacturing practices. And that's one way to know that there has been some sort of FDA regulation with that. Okay, good question. Yes?
Repeat the name of that last company.
Sure, Premier Research Labs. They're out in Texas, Austin, Texas. Yeah, they have much higher standards. Actually, they have the highest standards in the industry. And I know the doctor who creates the products. I mean, he's very, really particular about top notch. And he won't put anything out there that he personally wouldn't take himself.
What brands does Premier Labs?
No, that's the name of the company. They make everything. They have a coquinol. They do everything, a lot of the different things that we'll be talking about. Yes.
My question is, if you take red rice yeast as alternative to Lipitor, how much CoQ10 would you take?
Okay, a very good question. I would, if you're taking 600 milligrams of red yeast rice, I would do 100 of the CoQ10. Okay, good. So if you're doing 1,200, it would be 200. If you're doing 1,800, it would be 300 milligrams of CoQ10.
What's your opinion of growth hormone pills?
Okay, you have to be careful because just as the lady mentioned earlier, that a lot of these are not regulated. You need to make, one of the safest things you can take to help the body produce its own growth hormone is arginine, which is an amino acid. And arginine will help the body produce its own growth hormone.
Aren't they used mostly amino?
It's an amino acid. Yeah, arginine is an amino acid that actually specifically helps the body produce its own growth hormone. So then your body only produces what it needs. So it's much safer. And arginine is a very safe supplement. It's an amino acid because what it does, it also improves blood flow. It helps with nitric oxide production in our blood vessels. So it's a very beneficial supplement to take and very safe. Okay, you're welcome. I just want to cover the others. Any other questions on CoQ10 before we move on? Okay, good, because I do want to cover the rest of the supplements that are critical to brain health and slowing down the whole brain aging. Okay, alpha-lipoic acid is another very important antioxidant specifically for the brain. Minimum to take is 300 milligrams if you're doing it in a tablet form. And it's important to take it as a timed release or as a sustained release because alpha-lipoic acid gets excreted through the urine very quickly. It breaks down very quickly. But that's a very powerful antioxidant, actually not only for the brain, but also for the eyes. So if you're concerned about macular degeneration, glaucoma, any of those eye aging diseases, alpha-lipoic has been shown in numerous studies to be highly effective for that. So that's one that you definitely want to include in your supplement regimen. B complex, and just like we talked about the CoQ10, about how critical it is to take, if you're doing it in a liquid form, to take a little bit throughout the day, same thing with the B vitamins. The B vitamins get excreted through urine very quickly. They break down within 10 minutes in the body. So taking it in a liquid form, and again, small amounts throughout the day, is far more effective than just taking 100 milligrams once a day. Okay? So just, like we don't eat one meal a day, we should not be taking our supplements just once a day. Yes?
Yes. For several years I've been doing injections by B12.
Is it B12 or B complex? B12? Okay, good. Yeah, B12 is one of the most important B vitamins for the brain. By the way, all the labs now can test for B12, so those of you who have not had your vitamin B12 levels measured, I would really encourage you to do that. Because normally the body produces B12 through the intestinal tract when we have enough hydrochloric acid in the digestive system. But again, as part of our normal aging process, we don't produce enough stomach acid. And that's why people have more digestive problems as they get older. So measuring your B12 levels is very helpful. And you want to be at least 400 nanograms in the blood. That's minimum where you should be in the blood. So if you're less than 400 when you get your blood test results, you definitely need to supplement with B vitamins. So that's very critical to brain aging. Yes, and injections are another way to do it too, if your physician is willing to do that. Yes.